Hello, hello.
Hello. Yeah, hi. I'm British. I've been playing Star Citizen now since like 2021, I think. I come from a sort of mainly a Daisy slash Tarkov background. Got a few thousand hours in them all put together. Been running with Galleon Order 66 now for the last few months, and I prefer FPS over flying.
And we all. But what's up, guys? I am Skylark. I run the Citizens of the Verse account over on TikTok, which has been renamed. I have not redone my logo, but it has been renamed just to me as Skylark. Um, I also come from a Tarkov background, Destiny 1 and 2 PvP background, and heavy into Rainbow Six Siege and Val as well. So more arcadey than survivally, but um, I kind of like being the odd man out when we talk PvP, as I feel like I'm the only arcade guy mostly when we talk PvP all day. But yeah, it's nice. We've been having Streamlab problems all day. That's why you're seeing my logo and not my face.
Check, check, check. Check, check, check. I think that's working. Well, that's awkward. Well, what's up, guys? You haven't heard a single thing I've said.
Sorry, you got the important bit.
Hope you guys
Dang,
got the
dang,
gist.
dang.
But yeah, I was saying to these gentlemen that I also come from a Tarkov background. Arena shooters, hardcore shooters, competitive shooters. I'll do all of it. Thank you for calling that out because that would have been really, really awkward.
Streamlabs
Had
has
we,
been killing us today.
yeah, yeah. Skylark was supposed to have a camera on. It wasn't working, so now I'm the only one on camera. It is what it is, unfortunately. Um, but yeah. So we're gonna touch on a lot of things this episode, but um, first question I have for you gentlemen is well, and actually, first off, thank you guys for both being on here. I know this was sort of a last minute endeavor to a degree, so I appreciate it. But
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
It is a
um,
pleasure. You did
yeah,
mine, so I had to do yours. You know what I mean, Gally?
for sure, for sure. Um, so today, just for the viewers, as you guys are kind of prepping for this, um, we got a lot of topics to talk about. Two main topics, though, will be um, these gentlemen's experiences with orgs and events, and also then on the back half of the show, we'll touch on the game itself. So how the game is running, how they like the game, the direction the game is going, the patches, and what we think is coming up. And as we get closer to CitizenCon, we actually might touch on what's coming at CitizenCon as well. So that'll be on the back half of the episode. But the first half will be focused on orgs. Their experiences with orgs and all that kind of stuff. So we will jump right in. So, British, I'll ask you first. What are your experiences with orgs in any game up to this point?
Okay, so I guess I started playing Star Citizen when I think I'd seen it was the Bed Bananas video
Yep.
or a couple of them. So me and a mate of mine, we were like, oh, we need to play this game. We need to play it. So we originally were going to start off playing me and him, like the two of us. I don't think either of our PCs at the time could run this game very well, so we never really made it far. I think we we downloaded it, got on, spawned at Orison, felt the 20 FPS, and was like, yeah, no, we're not doing this. So it took a while until we got actually back on. I think my mate at the time didn't get on, so it was just me running solo for a bit. I wanted to reach out into orgs and stuff because I'd seen a lot of like, oh, it's the way to play. Floated around a couple, and then sort of just gave up because it was either way too role play or way too serious. And it's like I'm here to play games like and have fun. And if I have to attend a training session every week, I'm not having fun. So no, and then obviously I came across you and what you do, and it's a lot more laid back, a lot more open ended, and yeah, I've got myself pretty involved ever since.
Yes, you have.
I guess that's the Star Citizen stuff. Outside of that, it's more in friends groups really. Like Tarkov doesn't really have a clan system yet. And
What about,
you just...
I was gonna say DayZ, because I know you do a decent amount of stuff in DayZ.
Yeah, DayZ's not massive in terms of clan stuff. Like you'll play on different servers and they'll have different groups and things, and you can get some quite fun sort of group v group stuff, but it's nothing on the scale of Star Citizen. And
Gotcha.
Org battles there. You know, a big group in DayZ is like 8 people.
Yeah.
But I think I mainly rocked around in like 3 or 4. But it was still good fun.
Cool. Skylark, what about you? What's your org experience in games in general? So not just Star Citizen.
Yeah, virtually non-existent. Ironically, playing other like competitive MMOs like Destiny. The thing is, like, I've always had my friends from home. I've known the friends that I've had currently today have been my friends since I was like 5 years old, and we've been playing pretty much the same exact video games since we were 5 years old, right, together. Actually, my TikTok account, why it's Citizens of the Verse, plural citizens, is because there was 4 of us that were doing this TikTok account. It ended up just being me, and I started doing it in January full time as just myself. But that's why I haven't really done any orgs, just because I kind of had a built-in org. I got very lucky. All my friends had the same video game love that I have, so we all played Destiny together. We all played Rainbow Six Siege for way too many hours together. Like, we even got into the Face It tournaments and stuff. And same thing with Tarkov as well. So, and Valorant at this, I know I say it weird, but Valorant at this time, we all play it the same way. So I never really had a chance to get into an org. And then Star Citizen, as I think we all know, is very up and down, and especially before 4.0 came out, Star Citizen was a very difficult game to play on an everyday basis. I don't know how someone, even us, like even as me as a content creator, like even you, Gally, like it's hard, and I post a video every day. It's hard for even me to play this game every day and kind of stay mentally sane at the same time, given some of the things we have to do, right? But so it ended up just being me, and then it was kind of like a solo show, and I kind of created my own community a little bit from my TikTok account. I had and I continue to have great success over there, so I kind of got lucky with that. And then we started branching out, and I started doing PvP kind of exclusively by myself. And I realized I like it. I like PvP in this game. There's potential for PvP in this game. And I saw you started tweeting about it back in May. I created my Twitter account back in May, and ironically, I did not have any social media outside of TikTok in my personal life until May. And I came across your account, and I was like, oh, this is for me. Yeah, this is for me. I like this. This is cool. This is fun. And so that's kind of how I stumbled upon Order 66, and it's been a blast ever since.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. That's cool. It's fun. It's cool. Part of the reason I love to ask that question is because I think it shapes a lot about like what you expect to get out of an org, for example. Like British, for example, he was hoping and expecting, correct me if I'm wrong, British, to get a more casual, laid back, not kind of milsim RP style experience. Whereas you, on the other hand, don't really have any experiences to base that off of. So your expectations and what you think might be normal or not, are just very different. And I also have very different experiences. I've been on the Milsim RP side, and I've been on the more casual side, and I've been basically everywhere in between in both Star Citizen and other games as well. So yeah, it's just a good way for, I think, viewers to better understand the conversations we're about to have, to kind of learn a little bit about your guys' history and background as we start to talk more about kind of orgs in general.
Yeah, I'm a complete noob. I got very blessed in my life to have to have a built-in org.
Yeah, which is great.
In short, you can play Star Citizen solo, but the game opens up when you play it as a group, just
Exactly.
massively.
It is an MMO after all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah, I agree. Like, so for the viewers who may not know my history, I come from an org. Before I started Order 66, I came from an org called Nightingale Industries, and I kind of started as a recruit, I guess, and worked my way all the way up to the highest spot I could go without becoming the owner of the server. So I was a co-leader, I guess, of sorts, and so my experiences through that that was my first real org experience in Star Citizen. I've been in orgs before in other games, but there's a lot of growth in that one and what to expect. What are some things I did like? What are some things I didn't like that we've now kind of implemented into our org, which we'll touch on later, but I hesitate to even call what we're doing an org at the moment. So, yeah, it's just an interesting kind of precursor, I think, to the conversations we're going to have. So, let's jump into the fun conversations. What have you guys liked so far and about kind of being a part of an org, both as kind of a member, because you guys weren't members for too long, but you guys were both of you were for a little bit, enough, I think, to get kind of a basic idea. So far, in being in Order 66, what have you guys liked so far about kind of being a part of it, versus what are some things you were either disappointed by or things you wish you could change?
Put us on the spot here. Things you could
Yeah,
change. Gotta
jeez.
criticize it now.
Yeah.
Well,
No, I think-
Stars and witches.
and it's a little weird because I know you guys are like a part of the admin team, so it's more
We could
unique.
change it.
Yeah, that British guy.
But this is more for a viewer, an outside viewer who may not know kind of what to expect in joining an org. Kind of what have been your guys' experiences so far? I guess is probably a better way of phrasing the question.
Yeah, I mean, with Order 66 specifically, it's, there's not. Well, I'm pretty sure we're pretty atypical of orgs.
Yeah.
It's not. It's different to everything else, but you will get and you will access some pretty unique gameplay through it, which is how I started off playing in a couple of the events and the arms dealing ones that you'd set up, and I was like, holy, whoa, this is cool. Like having these scenarios in place, but having it just open to the elements, basically. And I don't think you'll find that anywhere else. Now maybe there's some big in-org events that go on that aren't sort of publicly known about and whatnot, but
yeah,
the experiences that you've put on and that we are planning to put on, you're just not going to find elsewhere.
Yeah. What about you, Skylark? What have been your experiences so far?
Yeah, I mean, kind of just to echo what British just said there, it is. Again, coming from mostly like competitive FPS stuff, I like to compete, and I like to compete against really good players. And so putting on these PvP tournaments, or PvP events rather, it has been very enjoyable for me to grind my sword against other steel. And to me, that's something that I really enjoy. Like last event, me and British went up against a 20-person force, and I mean, we're in light armor, don't have a whole lot of ammo, and they're all coming at us at once, and that was really cool to fight against, and we did very well, right? So like stuff like that has been an absolute joy to me. Putting things on for the community has been another joy for me. I really like the narrative stuff, and I like writing. A lot of my TikToks have, in the past couple months, I've kind of transitioned to more creative stuff, not just cinematic stuff. So I like that writing aspect of it. So those two things to me have really been highlights.
Nice.
And hanging out with you guys. I like hanging out with you guys.
Oh,
Um, this is either one of you guys can answer this or both of you. How has the experience changed for you being, I don't want to say outside the walls, but being a member who's not necessarily seeing a lot of the back end stuff versus someone who's now can see the back end stuff and kind of sees the complexity of things going on? How has that changed your guys' experience? Has it been a positive thing? Has it been a negative thing? Or somewhere in between?
I think it's been a positive thing. Like, for us, like me and British the other day, we went to go scout the area that we're going to do on Saturday, and we narratively drove, like, step by step. Okay, here's a great spot for this, right? And to have that global view, I feel like me and British can give a better experience to the end user when we're able to go to a site and we're scouting different sites and we go, okay, this one, maybe not. We go to this one and it's like, oh, this terrain here for what we want to do, we can see the vision of what's going to happen and kind of what we talked about and what we narratively wrote. And we're like, wow, this is something else. Like, this is really cool. And so to have that high level view and being like behind the curtain is, I think, one, beneficial for the events, and two, beneficial for us. Like, it makes it more fun for us, right? Like, we may or may not have a little surprise coming Saturday from a certain group, inside Order 66, not outside Order 66. And inside that group, right, we can drive certain things, keep it high level, not to give any spoilers away.
Yep.
And it's really cool seeing like that behind the curtain view, and it's been a joy, honestly. It really has been. So that's kind of the change. And I personally, again, like I said earlier, I like the narrative
Hold on a
stuff,
second.
and I like PvP.
My headphones just died.
Oh, effing chat. Technology has been
It's so
killing
well.
us today. Yeah.
All right, I'm back. I'm back.
All good.
So
All
last
good.
thing I heard was it's been a joy. All right.
Yeah, so it truly has been just like a joy of coming behind the curtain and helping you out, and I love doing this. So, and I loved it before you kind of promoted us, if you want to call it that, or to help you out with these things. And so to be a part of it is really, at least for me, has been pretty special. It's been fun.
Yeah, I agree. It is good fun. I mean, I've put on not sort of semi-regular DayZ events as well. So just the whole planning and things like that is, for me personally, that's a lot of fun. Like it having that control over like giving people an experience that you're not going to get anywhere else is something. It's just good. It's a good feeling. It's interesting. You could let your creative side out. Like, it is unique, to say the least.
Yeah.
But knowing all the back end work that does go on, it's I think it goes unnoticed sometimes. Not to like smoke up our own backsides, but I know you were doing it all solo before, Gally, and it's a lot.
British confirmed Glazer.
Yeah, sorry.
So a follow-up
I'll
question.
get demoted if I don't.
That is facts. He did. I can confirm. I have the DMs. Gally said you got to glaze me on this pod, or else it's over for you.
Back to the scrap. Back to being a player only. Don't need your ideas.
Okay, so something I was really concerned about when bringing you guys on, and this wasn't specific to you guys, really just anybody in general, was I wanted to make sure that whoever we brought on continued to have a really fun experience actually participating in the event, even though they were going to know what was going on. Like, basically, you guys now see the surprises and the plot twists and the various things that may happen or may not happen. Because you guys have been out leadership in at least one event. Has that changed the experience of being, like, in a positive way or a negative way of now seeing the back end, but then also trying to experience it as if you're kind of a regular player? Where do you guys kind of stand on that?
Honestly, I would say no. Like, it's the way we set up the events, where they are so open-ended, and it's basically a whatever happens happens. Is even if we're participating, we can't predict what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like Scarlock said earlier, we went up against 20 people, not expecting anything. Like, we could have been roll in the first 30 seconds, or we could have held out for half an hour. We just don't know. It all depends on the moment and how the game is feeling.
Yeah, I would say same thing. I actually find it a little bit more fun, right? Because as just a general player, you kind of get tunnel visioned into the assignment that you're given, right? You're PvPing at this location. Your goal is to go destroy that org, right? That's fun, but also being behind the scenes and having that opportunity to do a little bit more than that has been also a lot more fun for me too. Again, like I like the creative stuff, I like the narrative stuff, so being a part of that just kind of bolsters that experience. So for me personally, I don't think it's a worry at all. I've actually had more fun on this side of the aisle than the other one.
That's
And
cool.
like, I'm not a role player, but playing a role with sort of little to no restrictions is a lot of fun. For me
Yeah.
personally, like, it's cinematic, it looks and feels cool to do.
And that's a line I think we tiptoe. Some people will be like, "Oh, we're hardcore RPing." Some people will say we're like RP light. Some people say we're organic. I don't necessarily think anybody is wrong. I just agree with others more than others.
It's all interpretations of it, really.
Yeah, like I kind of classify our events as kind of an RP light situation. Like I used to
even call it that.
I
Yeah,
used
I
to
feel
say
like it depends on
organic.
the end user.
I used to say fully organic, but I struggled to say organic because the reality is you don't get these experiences organically. You have to have played roles in the background in order to make this possible. But it's not the kind of roles that we're writing out the backstories of each character and we're giving people fake names and stuff like that. Like, that's RP to me. That's hardcore RP. What we're doing is we're assigning people jobs, essentially, that you just wouldn't really get in a normal PU experience, which is why these work and why people like to come to them. But at the same time, we're not scripting things. So I say it kind of falls in that RP light scenario, but even it's like on the light side of light. Like we just kind of barely tip over that edge, in my opinion.
I'd refer back to the last one we did, where we went in with the thought of how do we appeal to as many people as possible, but without upsetting like too many people. It's that impossible thing of you can't please everybody. Whereas
Yeah.
I'd say we got close by just offering up a scenario of PvP. But then for those that were interested, there is a narrative / very light RP side to it. And I think we've kind of taken that as our sort of motto going forward with the rest of the events is we want to cater to those who don't care for the story, but also do care.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we will transition a little bit, and we'll start talking more specifics on the event sides of things. So, fun light question: what's been your guys' favorite event you've attended so far, and why?
I think this is an easy one. I think it's the last one.
Yeah, I think I'm
Yeah, I think yeah.
And honestly, it'll be the next one as well. Like
Yeah.
I think it's just gonna keep going on. Like, it'll be the latest one we did because we're I'd say we're improving on them every time. We're learning from where things go wrong, and the outcome doesn't matter. It's about what happens in the moment and the moments that happen where it doesn't matter the outcome. Like, if it's fun, it's fun, and that's what I enjoy.
Yeah. As far as so you guys basically both last event.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1,000%.
Being boring, but
Yeah, it's a little bit of a
Sorry for
boring answer.
copying.
I mean, it wasn't the outcome me and British both wanted, but I think we did well as a threesome, really, against
For the
an
viewers who
overwhelming enemy force.
Yeah, for the viewers who may not have watched and may not understand why they enjoyed it so much, we kind of tasked Skylark and British, and then Citizen Groza and who was the other guy? King Keel, right? I think it was
Kia.
Yes.
King
Yeah.
Kia. So those four were kind of tasked, or actually really three of them, and then Citizen Groza was playing our scientist. Three of them were tasked with defending the scientist against an overwhelming force of like, I don't know what the actual number came out to, but it was like somewhere between 10 and 15, I think. Somewhere in that low double digit range. So 5-1 odds, we'll call it. And they put on a show. They did really, really well. So that's why they enjoyed that. So they had a lot of fun FPS experiences on that one. It is interesting asking people what their favorite events are, because depending on what their interest is, the answers vary wildly. Because some people really enjoy the space combat, some people really enjoy the narrative, some people really enjoy the FPS side, some people enjoy small, some people enjoy large. And we've kind of now hit a lot of that range. We've had events with 10 people, very small scale comparatively, and we've now had events with 230 people that are very large. And so it's very interesting to kind of hear people's answers. I'm not surprised that that's your guys' answer, though. I kind of predicted that, so.
Oh, it was
I'm
awesome. And the next one's even
after this
yes,
weekend. It's gonna
Saturday.
be our answer will change.
Yeah.
Saturday, I
Will be
think
the next one.
Yeah, because this time we are. Actually, I'm not gonna say it. We're
Well-
gonna leave it as a
Stop
surprise.
spoiling
Yeah,
it.
I know. I'm not
Well-
spoiling anything,
Well, we're gonna talk
I'm
about
not gonna do it. I
Saturday
almost did it.
next.
but I'm not doing it.
So let's talk Saturday. So
All right.
without giving a couple of spoilers, which I think we all are kind of on the same page on what's spoiler and what's not. What has been your favorite part so far about planning Saturday, and what are some maybe unforeseen challenges that you weren't expecting? Because this is really the first event that you guys have seen, like I've gotten you guys a lot more involved in, so you guys are really starting to see some of the back end shenanigans that I had to go through previously. So what are some experiences you've had that maybe you weren't expecting versus you were expecting and were excited for?
This one, I feel like, is probably one of your more complicated, if not the most complicated event we put on to date, just based on logistics alone, right? Now it's pretty much all FPS, if not all FPS combat, and all in a concentrated area. However, the moving parts are very intricate. The equipment needed to execute the event that we're trying to execute is very difficult. The timing has been the most difficult thing, right? It's like the realistic timing of setting everything up in Star Citizen, putting it on ground and ready for the event to start. The timing of that is difficult because, for example, me and British went out and scouted the other day, and we originally had the idea of taking the convoy to like 50 kilometers. Then we quickly realized that driving ground vehicles 50 kilometers would take the team maybe at most a full 24 hours to complete. So we're like, that's not happening. That's just not going to happen, right? That's just unrealistic. It's a cool idea, but just unbelievably unrealistic, right? So exactly as Fate says in chat, god awful. And so we had to cut that and scale it back a little bit. So I think that's kind of been another challenge that I think we've overcome or tackled pretty well, is kind of tampering back our original vision to fit what we can do inside of Star Citizen.
Yeah.
Which is really cool because Star Citizen is in which I guess we'll talk a little bit more about later, but overall, Star Citizen is in a pretty good spot in comparison to previous years. So it is only going to get better. So it is very interesting to see what we can do in the future as well. So not only like is it exciting to see what we're doing on Saturday, but also like, ooh, okay, like after the hearing what we Benoit's talk today, it's like, ooh, okay, then we could do this and then we could do this. So that's my long-winded answer to that question.
What about you, British? What are some things you?
Just repeat the question because I was listening to Skylark and it just completely forgot
My
the
melodic
question.
voice.
You're good.
Yeah.
What are when in regards to planning Saturday's event? Maybe what are some things you were surprised by, or maybe not expecting in terms of the planning aspect of this, and what are some things you were expecting and/or were excited about that kind of because this one we'll have had 3 weeks to plan this one, and this one you guys were a lot more involved in. So I'm curious, kind of what your experiences have been on planning this one.
Okay. There's a few of us that sort of throw ideas into the pot for these events now, and I like that we've managed to consolidate a lot of different ideas into one. Like I think we've taken bits from everybody, like input from everybody, and managed to craft this experience that we're hoping to put on and give out. And honestly, if we get it all set up, I'll be happy with that alone. And if it all runs like smoothly in the setup, we'll be fine. Like I'll be happy with that. But yeah, like it's definitely one of our more complicated ones.
For sure.
There's just a lot of moving parts. There's a lot that could go wrong. There's a lot that might not. But then again, part of our planning has been how can we make this work when things go wrong as well?
Yeah,
And that's the beauty of it, is things can go wrong,
and they
And
probably
they
will.
and we are completely fine with it. And I think the formula that we've got is it works in that sense. Is things can go wrong, they probably will. It can all go to terribly, and we'll be fine. That's the we're happy with the outcome.
Yeah. Those are both interesting answers. For me, speaking, this event feels like an easy one. And I think it's for a couple of reasons. One, this is my first, like, last event you guys were involved in, but there was a lot of things I didn't involve you guys in at the same time. Mostly because a lot of it happened within, like, 3 hours of the event. Like, we just whipped up some things real fast.
God, yeah, that was very last minute.
That was really last minute. And so last event there was a lot of moving parts, like to the point I should have gotten a screenshot and put it on the screen, but I went back and counted after the event. I had 26 unique DM threads going on leading up to the event and then during the event. So 26 groups of people were talking to me leading up to that. And some of these groups had 6, 7, 8 people in them. And but now this one, in comparison, this one feels great. This one I've only got like 4 or 5. And then our like admin chat. But yet, so from a planning standpoint, this one feels great for me. But from a complexity standpoint, I think it's our second or third most complex. But for me, it feels the best. And I think partly it's because you guys are a lot more involved, which is great. That was kind of the intention of bringing you guys on, is let's start to delegate more and offload and bring people who are excited to put these on into the fold and to start crafting these experiences with me. And also just so I'm not the only one giving ideas. Like prior to you guys being here, I was judge, jury, and executioner. I planned everything. I got it all the way through, organized it all, executed it all. And if something went wrong, like I got too stressed out or whatever, things started falling apart, like I don't have anyone to kind of turn to or offload some of that to. So it's been a great experience this time around. One, because I don't want to say planning was lonely per se, but it just, like, I don't have to chat with anybody for that. I don't have to run ideas with anybody. I just keep it in my head. I'm like, okay, we're going to do that. but it's been a lot more fun, I think, this time around for me to be able to engage people and be like, all right, this is what I'm thinking. Here are some of my ideas. What do you guys think? And then, like, I forget which one of you were saying it about kind of picking pieces out of everybody's ideas. That's been great. Like, I've been loving hearing your guys' ideas, and you guys are hearing my ideas. We're kind of cobbling together this experience that, like you guys said, we're hoping is a lot of fun for people. So I'm really curious to see how it goes. And I think, as far as I'm concerned at least, that if this goes well, because like you said, British, going well is really contextual. Depending on who you ask, they may have said this goes well, or it may have said it went to crap. In my opinion, like you said, as long as we get set up, it's really hard for this not to go well, from our point of view. Basically, if we can get all those people on site and doing the things vaguely that they're supposed to be doing, W. And as long as people aren't waiting around too long, which is usually the biggest concern with these events, is that people are waiting, I think we'll be in a great spot. But there's other people who might say that, oh, some third-party group came in and all of a sudden I don't get to have my narrative crafted experience and I have to now partake in the chaos of the PU. They might view that as a total fail. Now, I don't think from our point of view we view it as a total fail. We view that as kind of a W. But it's interesting to hear different points of views post-event. Some people say it's great, some people say it wasn't. But yeah, here we are.
It's always good because whatever happens, we just write into our narrative.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
It makes it more fun, honestly, if something goes
Yeah.
awry, because then it's like, ooh, surprise. Let me write to
Oh,
you.
I love it. Some of the most boring events I have put on are the events that went flawlessly. Because, frankly, like, I'm a PvP guy, so, like, especially when we're doing arms dealing, there's no PvP in arms dealing. All you're doing is trading stuff to people. But what we were doing is we're creating an environment that hopefully PvP happens. Like, the best arms dealing event we ever had, you guys weren't even here for it, was when the buyer brought his own security team, and there was like 10 security guys on both sides, and just weapons are drawn at each other. The tensions were through the roof, and then all of a sudden they went for the steal, and it turned in like an epic battle out of nowhere, and it was awesome. Just totally awesome. There's no other way to phrase that. And the most boring ones we did were ones where no PvP happened, and all we did was just trade to people all day. Now, other people thought that was great because they don't like PvP, but they were still at the event. And then there's me, and I was like, that was horribly boring. And now this one on Saturday is different because there will be guaranteed PvP no matter what happens. But yeah, honestly, when chaos happens, those are usually the best moments.
What the arms dealing ones were for, wasn't it? It was more to invite PvP in. Like, obviously you wanted to trade some goods, make some money, but like you said, that one that was on the Orison platforms, I think the big selling point for a lot of people that joined after that, I think myself included, was that PvP experience that you are not going to find you won't find naturally in the PU.
Yeah.
Like, that just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I challenge any viewers who are listening, show me an instance where something as complicated and kind of complex as the scenario was there happens naturally in the PU.
Let's say, show me a natural battle on the Orison platforms in the PU. There's
Yeah,
no reason to be there.
with like almost 100
20
people.
Or,
That was one of my favorite events, actually, that they ever put on, was Siege of Orison.
Yeah, or Siege of Orison was great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Not PvP focused at all, but I don't know. I guess I love Orison. I'm an Orison stan.
platforms.
Yeah,
They're
so
really
I
cool.
guess fighting out the platforms was really cool.
I just drove around them the other day just to have a
Yeah.
look at all the stuff.
Now, we're probably going to get a comment afterwards about like fleet battles and how fleet battles are happening more organically, which is true. There have been some really big ones lately that were supposedly fully organic. I wasn't involved, so I can't speak to that. But what I've been told is that they're fully organic. And fleet battles I think are cool, but my only gripe with current day fleet battles is that there's no reason to have a fleet battle, and so because there's no reason, it's really hard to determine who wins, who loses, why you're there, why you'd come back, and anything like that. And so, kind of the depth of the fight just isn't really there. It's really just ships mashing into each other, which isn't bad. I think there's a time and a place for that, no doubt. But I think what we've started to do with injecting unique objectives, randomized special missions that are assigned to smaller groups of people, and kind of injecting narrative and like a reason to be doing the things we're doing, I think that's what makes what we're doing really special now. Yeah, I hope we see more of it from other groups too. I forgot to tell you guys this, but just this morning I got actually, you know what? Let me read it. I got a DM from a guy who.
I was going to tell there's another 30 people joining.
No.
Basically.
Let's see. Does he? Okay, I won't share his name because I'm not sure if he wants to be outed like that. But he was like, "Hey, Gally, you opened to me asking a few questions related to hosting events. I want to run some sort of narrative-centered things around my group, and just wanted to get a bit of advice on how to pick orgs, etc., to be involved and how to manage the comms and all that." And I think that's like a really stealthy benefit of these is because we're so public with them, other people get to see this and hopefully be inspired. Like, I know a big thing for me is inspiring other groups to also open their doors. My dream scenario is that I never plan another event again because other people are planning awesome experiences all the time, and hopefully I get invites to them, or I don't even need an invite, I can just show up. Like, that's my
I'm very up for playing in other people's stuff.
yeah,
It's not for any like to be critical or to ruin it or anything. Like I want to see what people are putting on. I enjoy what we're putting on, and if people put the same thing on, and you get that experience of you go in blind. I know we've said that we enjoy the planning side of it, but it's still fun to go in blind to these things and to just go in and play the game, not have to worry about the back end stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I really hope, like, I was talking to that guy for a few minutes today, just kind of giving him some words of wisdom. And I hope he's successful. I would love nothing more for him to be successful. I want every group to be, because a lot of groups do events. A lot of them aren't quite as complex as what we're doing, but they're still doing events. The problem is it's closed. Closed door events, I think, are the bane of org's existence. Why? Why are we doing that? It's insane for recruitment to open your doors, and also just make new friends. Like we have so many connections to orgs now because of our events that we're doing, and they're just continuing to grow. We were just having a meeting. The three of us were in a kind of an alliance meeting with this group of orgs, trying to get on the same page and make sure we can continue working together. And that's not really something you're going to be doing if all you ever do is close your doors to people. So, yeah, I really hope that some of these other groups are successful because I would love for us never to plan another one. I don't see that happening anytime in the near future, but yeah. So we'll move on to you know what? Let's do this. We'll touch a little bit more on events. We have a lot of upcoming ideas. Both of you guys.
Spreadsheet out.
Yeah, it might be worth bringing the spreadsheet up. What are? I'm not really worried about spoilers on this, so feel free to talk freely on this. What are some of your guys' favorite ideas that have been thrown around that maybe we can kind of tease to the viewers to be excited about coming in 2025 as we start to wrap up the year?
Yeah. Who is this mysterious force played by me and British and maybe some others soon? Question mark. And what are they doing? Who are they associated with? What's their real motive?
So what you're excited for is the narrative. You're excited to see how the narrative progresses throughout the course of the year.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just leave it there because I really don't want to spoil too much. Just because I think what kind of me and British have planned there is really cool, and there's a little subversion here and there that I don't want to ruin the subversion. So
Yep.
I'll just leave it at that.
And it could also change based on how events go and things like that. Like,
Yeah, our whole vision could just go right down the drain tomorrow, or on Saturday.
Yeah.
So
we have a
I could be
very loose
excited.
vision of like how
Yeah.
we want to run this and how we want to plan it into the future, but because the event's outcome could be literally anything, it's really hard to plan too far ahead.
I will say it's gonna be
Um,
really funny if mission 1 of Saturday fails. That'll
Yeah,
put a
that's-
wrench in things in the story.
That would be interesting.
It would, but then like me and
I-
British could do our like what me and British are doing could change to anyway. The point being is we have contingencies, and it would be really cool if it did, because then we could change the special mission around and all that good stuff. So, but again,
was
like
gonna
that's
say,
the
I
cool
think-
part about this, right? Is like,
Yeah.
oh man, like they hit into a cactus on Pyro, and now they're Spartans upside down with the thing that they need to transport in it, and it's like, oh, all right, well, we'll just call that attackers do whatever, and then we just plan around that, right? So
Yeah.
it's cool. You never know what you're gonna get. It's like a box of chocolates.
I think going forward as well is I kind of want to take these events to sort of locations that are visually like incredible, but there's no reason to go to yet in the game, like the Orison platforms, for example. Like I'd love to. I know you've been there for your arms dealing, but I'd love to take the narrative there at some point, and because it's just such a cool spot that I guarantee there's a lot of players out there who have never been there or don't even know they exist.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still discovering locations that I have no idea existed before, but are incredibly cool
Yes.
and have so much potential for things like this.
1,000% agree. Like, I guess my claim to fame for my TikTok was my cinematography, and I was obsessed with Bloom for the majority of this year until Stormageddon came out, and then I discovered Pyro 4, and now I've been obsessed with Pyro 4. And Stormageddon comes out, so I'm excited for the next thing, because then I'll just be obsessed with that. And sorry to my viewers, because you get to see the same planet on my cinematography TikToks over and over for a couple months. But I promise I try to get new shots of it. It's just that, like, the environmental artists in CIG have, I feel like they're like the unsung heroes a lot. Like for example, the Onyx facilities. The environmental storytelling in those Onyx facilities is world class.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, right? So, or like in Obituary, the CZN Obituary, right? When you go for the red card down below.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry, before the red door when you go down, like that is incredible, right? Like that environmental storytelling is incredible. So, like what British was saying, like it's cool for us to use that. Like in our last event, we literally did that, right? We saw the Onyx facilities, super cool. All right, let's incorporate that. Let's write something that we can use that facility for. And so that's how that idea came around, was Onyx facility, super cool, shiny new toy. Let's write to that. And we did, and we created something. And I thought it thematically fit what me and British were doing. Thematically fit, obviously. And for the narrative, it fit as well. So yeah, I'm excited to try out new places going forward. It'd be really cool.
Yeah, that's something you guys haven't seen a ton of, because is the number of locations that we've done events at. Generally speaking, we try to do a new location every single event, because that's part of the beauty of what we're doing, is we get to use the open world environment and use these beautiful areas that CIG's crafted. And then we get to create cool things at them that maybe it wasn't their initial purpose, but can serve our purpose really well. Only a few, like the Loreville location, we've used a few times because it's just super cool. Um, and the Siege of Orison platforms we've used 3 times, but that's over the course of 2 years. So there's lots of locations, and CIG has been cooking with new locations, and there are tons of new awesome stuff coming. And I'm really excited to see how these locations continue to grow, especially on the Pyro side. Pyro doesn't have as many cool spots as I was hoping it would. I'm really hoping that we get some new cool ones because I freaking
Gally,
love Pyro.
I got you. There's about 2 moons around Pyro 5 that two
Are
of my
cool.
favorite shots are from that. Yeah, I got plenty. I got a whole B-roll folder full of cool places in Pyro.
I was gonna say, I think Pyro's beauty comes on a much larger scale than Stanton's. Like, it's
Oh,
more of like a
1000%.
landscape or a moon or something like that, rather than Stanton's is a specific location on said planet or moon.
Yeah.
1000%. Like
Pyro is more landscape and natural, I guess.
Yeah.
hot take. I think Pyro is way more beautiful than Stanton. A lot of my cinematography is done in Pyro. I rarely,
think-
if ever,
I think
do I
it is
really
too.
do a lot in Stanton. Like Microtech is one, and like ArtCorp I use a lot as well. But other than that, it's kind of it. And those are only like for specific things. I think Pyro is way better looking.
The
I
Onyx
agree.
facilities tip me in the direction of Stanton, I think. The Onyx
Fair,
facilities
that's
in
fair.
Pyro. I can't get enough of the Onyx facilities. I'm really excited. I've not
you guys-
actually been
have you
looking
played the
at
PTU?
Nope.
Oh,
I really want to save myself to do it on live. It's the same
I-
when Nick first
I
got
stayed
introduced,
away
didn't-
from
I didn't look at
spoilers.
anything.
I stayed away from spoilers, and I was like, all right, I need to pre-plan my footage for next week, or whenever it goes live, and because I also don't like spoiling that stuff. Like as a content creator, I don't like doing that beforehand. But I was like, I need to get my footage so I can edit it, and then I can just instantly release it. And so I did it last night or yesterday, and it was it's way better than the other two wings. I'll say that. And the like how you navigate through it, I feel like I personally felt like I was in a Halo mission, like playing on legendary difficulty. Like it was cool. Like the difficulty wasn't there, but it was like the intensity was there.
Yeah. I think to answer my own question on kind of what I'm most excited for, or what you guys might be most excited for upcoming, is kind of what Skylark you were saying on the narrative side of things. I'm really excited to see how the narrative progresses over the course of the year. And then also how we wrap it up and segue into the next one. Because I don't foresee this narrative that we're doing now lasting into 2026. I think we'll have it wrapped up by then. And so then I'm excited, like, all right, what's the next one we're going to do? What do we probably just follow along with whatever CIG is doing, but I'm excited to kind of see how we evolve with that.
Use star system ?
I doubt it, but that would be cool.
But
But
Oh no.
probably the thing I'm most excited for is that we are moving away from arms dealing. This will now be 2 events in a row that we have not done arms dealing, and prior to last event, like that was the first event that was not arms dealing focused, and this will be the second event that's not arms dealing focused. And I have been trying to break out of my own shell and to get out of arms dealing because it was kind of pigeonholing us a little bit. And arms dealing really struggles with the scale that we're now reaching.
see, you're not gonna like this, but I think tier 0 saved you from arms dealing events.
What
Because
do you
they
mean?
just, well, tier 0 just makes arms dealing so difficult.
Oh, yeah.
You don't lose your gear when you die, so there's no reason to buy new gear.
Yep.
So you don't get as much interaction from people wanting to take part as a buyer in that sense.
Yeah,
So
for sure. And we experienced that. We had a lot harder time getting buyers at the events. And so then what started happening was because I realized that there was way less demand, I started kind of forcefully injecting PvP into the events to just make something happen, um, which wasn't ideal. But it got to the point where people were expecting PvP every single time because I needed to. Because without it, everyone would just be sitting there twiddling their thumbs. Um, and so now that we have kind of broken out of that mold, I'm really excited to see what kind of events and experiences. Because for the viewers at home, while we have a rough idea of kind of what the next couple events are going to look like, they're not really that planned. Our next one will be an arms dealing one, but that's going to be kind of a smaller one. It's just kind of a filler one to kind of tide us over until the next major one. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what kind of stuff we can continue to craft. Cool. So we'll wrap up that there. We're already running long. Real quick, we're not gonna touch on the state of the game for nearly as long, mostly because I can't be on much longer. But we'll just ask probably one question. Have you guys each answer? How have you guys liked the progress we've seen from CIG so far in 2025? And maybe what are some things you're hoping to see at CitizenCon? And we'll do British first.
I think this has been the best year of Star Citizen in a long time. You know, when people sort of say, if I hear people say in this past year that the game's in a bad state, I immediately think back to 3.18 and how the game was literally unplayable. Like, you couldn't actually get on the game for such an extended period of time that I don't understand how you can compare that as being a bad state of the game compared to now being people calling it a bad state. It's night and day difference. Obviously today we found out that there was going to be no squadron stuff at CitizenCon. Good. I think that means we're probably going to start seeing squadron marketing kick off come 2026. But I think I'm just hoping to see some more realistic goals at CitizenCon. Like, give us things that they've told us are coming. So maybe we see engineer, maybe we see that crafting prototype multiplayer thing they mentioned in one of the things recently. It was a roadmap roundup. Just some more things that are realistic, things that they've told us before. I don't want to see new stuff. Show me advancements in old stuff.
Interesting. So you don't want to see new stuff. You want to see advancements in old stuff. That's cool. I like that take.
Might well be new at this point.
Yeah, right. Skylark, what about you?
So I mean, I started this pod saying it's tough to play this game every day, and I do still stand by that comment. However, it is like that's from me as someone who plays this game pretty much every single day, right? If you actually step back and like look at the progress that they actually have had, British is 1,000% right. It is a night and day difference from this time last year.
Yeah.
It is a night and day difference from the release of 4.0 to what 3.24 was the last patch before 4.0, right? So it was a complete night and day difference. And I think, that needs to be recognized. I don't think that's said enough actually in the community is like, hey guys, like you actually did something really well here. Like your macro, and I actually said this today in my video, your macro, like CIG's macro when it comes to playability in Star Citizen has been really excellent, right? You don't 30K. I crash every now and then, but it's not a 30K, so that's another topic. But for the most part, I don't crash. My performance has been, at the beginning of the year, was actually better than this year. Than now, but still very good. And I think they've done really well. On the micro, they could improve a little bit more on, but at least I can go in and play the game, right? And that is a big. I never have to worry about logging in. I never have to worry about like 30K'ing while I'm in the middle of doing something like particular, and like I don't haul, but for example, let's say if I was hauling $6 million worth of stuff and I 30K'd, I don't lose it. You still may lose it at mission completion, but that's a whole nother, that's part of the micro that I'm talking about. So like the macro is really, really good. So when it comes to CitizenCon, I personally would like to see the micro. Like like even today, like Benoit talking today, like was a lot about the micro. Like, hey, and he does a very good job of taking very complicated technical things. Like he can talk in one and zeros, but he actually dumbs it down for the common audience. So like
Yeah.
I can understand it as not a coder. And so like that talk today was very good. Like hearing about LTP and I don't know, it was 3 hours worth, like pretty much every single topic, right? Like the ATC, probably not until next year, or definitely not until next year, but the transit refactor and everything. And so I think you do have to recognize that CIG did do and has been doing a good job at playability, but the micro is still work in progress. I think they still have a long way to go on the micro of the game, the micro playability of it.
Yep. Yep, I agree. I think one of the things I was most excited for from Benoit talking is talking about how they were doing streams. Like previously, they just had one main stream and just all the devs just threw all their crap into that one stream, and like if it worked, it worked, and if it didn't, it didn't. And then devs were like running into problems, and it was slowing them down. And while it was like functionally faster, it caused a lot of internal issues because of it. And it was cool for me to kind of hear them talk about what the process is now, where they have like I forget what he called it, like this SC patch stream or whatever.
Yeah.
And then everyone else has like their own streams, like a tech preview type stream that they can work on engine improvements and more feature sets without impacting the patch stream that we all get to play on live servers. So I thought that was really cool, and I'm curious to see if that stays through 2026. From CitizenCon though, because we're not getting any squadron stuff, and Jared also said that it's not going to be something fancy, like we're not talking 1.0, we're not talking any of that kind of stuff. I'm expecting we're going to get some kind of like pre-alpha look at like the inventory rework, maybe like a mock-up type in-game version. Maybe like Planet Tech V5 working in engine, something like that. Let me think. Probably we're gonna get our ships, of course.
Nyx. I guarantee you we're getting Nyx.
Shadow drop Nyx.
I think they really are, because I don't want to spoil it for anyone who's not trying to get spoiled, but like this next patch pretty much points directly to Nyx.
Yeah, it does.
I do think Nyx will be the next star system.
Oh, it definitely will be the next star system. And I agree with you, Sky. Like, I do think we're getting Nyx. I don't think we'll get it at CitizenCon, though. I do think we'll see a lot of Nyx.
We'll see
but
it.
I think we'll get Nyx potentially at the end of the year. I think that'll be our
I think they're going to do
patch.
one star system a year to 1.0. So like that January patch or that Christmas patch. When did they do 4.0? It was in January, right? The first week of January?
Yeah.
Or was it before
Well, it was
Christmas break?
Tech preview during Christmas break and then live in
Christmas break,
January.
yeah. I think that's what they do again. And I think they do Castra or probably the last one would be Terra, right?
Yeah.
Planet Tech's coming along nicely. Nyx is a pretty small one to get out for while they develop Planet Tech properly, and then if it's fully done, they can start smashing out planets pretty easy.
Yeah, and then I also think we're going to see engineering working in its almost final form. I think that'll be a big selling point for them. This CitizenCon Direct is engineering working and maybe hacking as well, because I know they're probably. Well, I don't know. Based on monthly reports, it seems like they are actively working on hacking, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see it come hand in hand with engineering, since they're going to use similar systems.
The return of
and data
flares.
running. Oh, solar flares.
Yeah, I would love to see solar flares come back. Honestly, that was like my favorite part of Pyro. But yeah,
Look,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, quick question on engineering. Are you guys nervous for it? What I mean by that is it can either be really fun or it can be a pain in the ass. And I feel like it's a very thin line.
I want there to be a default configuration where if you are a solo in a ship like let's say the Perseus, for example, or even the Connie has an engineering terminal, or the Intrepid. Let there be a default config that is not the best, and it would be worse than having a dedicated engineer, but so that you can still operate the ship. For the most part, solo. Because I don't want it to kill multi-crew ships as like someone that is just flying on their own. I think if somebody wants to solo a ship that is intended for more than just the solo, they should be allowed, but they're just gonna die if they get into
Nerfed.
like contact.
Yeah.
So I just hope that there is a way that they still function, I guess.
My take is engineering can do no harm. Basically, in whatever form it comes out in, I'm going to be excited. But at the same time, I also know that no matter what form it comes out in, there will be a group of people that don't like it. I'm willing to bet the PvP group does not like it, whatever the first form is. They hated Master
Probably.
Mode. They hate any flight model changes. Generally speaking, PvP community really does not like things that impact PvP. And I think it will. I think it's going to have a huge impact on PvP. I think you're going to see a lot more capitals come out post engineering because people are going to be excited to participate in that. And I think there's going to be a lot of value in having crew after. I don't think it's going to be nearly as much, though, as the capital ships are intended. Like the Idris, I think it's supposed to have like 12. I don't see the Idris having 12 coming after engineering. Do I think we might have like an extra 1 or 2 slots for like an engineer or something? Yeah, I do. But I don't think it's going to be like, oh, all of a sudden now a 12-person or ship designed for 12 people actually needs 12 people. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
At least
I'm
in this
just
first
worried
version.
I'm just worried that the actual game, like being an engineer, they make it a little bit too complicated, right? I kind of like, because it's a video game after all, right? Like make it a little bit realistic as well, like throw in the Star Citizen realism. But my personal worry with engineering is not with that stuff, is more so like with the gameplay of actually being an engineer. Although you bring up a good point with the PvP stuff, it's like, all right, we're all PvP guys. Who wants to be the PvE guy in player versus engine and not participate in PvP, right? Like it is a little bit wonky,
Time
but
to open your doors to the community. Go and get some engineer core in your org.
Exactly.
People that want to do it, and find the people that want to do it. If
Go
you
get
close-
some friends.
If you
yeah,
close it off, you're never gonna find these people. You're in your own like sort of echo chamber if nobody wants to be an engineer.
Mm.
There will be
Good
some
point.
people out there who really want to be engineers. You just need to go and hire them, recruit them.
Yep. All right, cool. Well, we're gonna wrap it up there. We've run a little past schedule, and I don't want to keep you guys much longer. I had a lot more questions I was gonna ask about the game, and especially what's coming next year, but we'll maybe save that for another episode.
we'll do round 2 when Streamlab works, and you can actually see
Yeah,
my
when
face.
Streamlab works, and maybe do like a post Citizen Con episode or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, any final thoughts from you guys? Anything? Yeah, really, any final thoughts on anything we've talked about? Any points you've wanted to add that you were not able to earlier?
Saturday's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, it will.
I think that a lot of what we're seeing from CIG this year is behind the scenes stuff that we're not actually seeing. I think we just need to be patient. They seem to be setting up themselves for like the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
I
point.
agree. I think they've not shown us basically anything on the feature side of the game, but they've had a year to work on feature stuff, so there's going to have been progress there, and I'm excited to see it. Which it sounds like we're going to start seeing feature stuff within 2025, towards the end of this year. So I'm guessing these next couple weeks we're going to start hearing more and more trickles of information on feature stuff. So that'll be cool. But all right, gents, appreciate you guys being here. Viewers, thanks you guys for tuning in. We had like 6-ish viewers during the whole time, which is awesome. Love that. We will post this on YouTube the Citizens Voice podcast on YouTube, and then I will link it in my Discord, post it on Twitter, all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, I will talk to you guys all later. Skylark and British, thank you guys for coming on, and hopefully we
Pleasure.
see you guys all on Saturday.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having me.
All right.